Ducati says the Panigale V4 is the biggest investment the company has ever made in a single product, 4 years in development, and that claim is perfectly believable after riding the bike at the Ricardo Tormo circuit in Spain. Here, in bite-sized chunks, is why its technology and performance will take the superbike class by storm. Don't be surprised if it takes top honors in sport bike shootouts around the world in 2018. 1. Ultra Performance. The fastest race lap aboard a Ducati MotoGP race bike during the 2017 Valencia GP was Andrea Dovizioso, clocking a 1:31.78. Alessandro Vaglia, Ducati's development rider, lapped 5 seconds slower, 1:36.84, aboard the Panigale V4 street bike. To illustrate how fast the Panigale V4 can burn up a GP track, take a look at the video below. Also take note of how frequently the amber light on the top left portion of the instruments illuminates to indicate traction control interventions. Then tell us again how you believe a rider can go quicker without any electronic aids. 2. Engineering. Ducati pushed its engineering and marketing efforts to the limits with this new Stradale V4 motor. It required considerable cojones to abandon its legacy of V-twin engines in favor of a MotoGP-inspired V4 power plant. Common to both Ducati, GP and Stradale, is the 90-degree V4 engine arrangement and twin pulse firing order, in which the 2 left side cylinders and 2 right side ones fire closely together. 3. Engine room. Also shared is the engine's 81mm bore size, but the Stradale V4 uses a longer stroke, 53.5mm, that yields a total displacement of 1103 cc. Yes, it's a cheater motor in the litter bike class. 4. Going backward to move forward. The new engine also employs the relatively novel trick of the MotoGP's Mercedes's reverse rotating crankshaft, which offsets some of an engine's negative gyroscopic effect on steering responses. This is an arrangement used in Ducati's GP bikes since 2010, and its effectiveness of providing beneficial agility is veritable because all other MotoGP teams use it. The effectiveness of this arrangement was readily apparent when riding around Valencia, as the Panigale V4 tipped into corners with the ease of a much smaller engine sport bike. It exhibits a friendly neutral balance and is easier to ride than the more finicky 1299. It's both willing and cooperative. 5. Weight less. Losing weight isn't just difficult for humans, but Ducati has pared down as wherever possible. Its monocoque frame design uses the engine as a stressed member in accompaniment with an aluminum front section that incorporates the steering head. To gain perspective on the relative weights of these structural pieces, consider the Panigale V4's exhaust system. At 21.4 pounds, it weighs more than the frame and swing arm combined. Aluminum, rather than heavier steel, is used for the Panigale's fuel tank, a portion of which is positioned below the rider MotoGP style. Its total capacity is 4.23 gallons. The curb weight for the V4S is stated at 430 pounds, 6 pounds lighter than the standard Panigale V4 because of its lighter wheels and lithium-ion battery. 6. High-tech. The Panigale V4's electronics are state-of-the-art, employing a new 6-axis Bosch EMU to provide a host of aids that keep riders safer while helping them go faster. Most are evolutions of existing aids, but there are a few new ones like slide control, drift braking and lean angle sensitive quick shifting, up and down, and engine brake control. 7. Suspenders. The standard Panigale V4 uses a fully adjustable a big piston fork and sax shock, while the V4S we tested employs the latest generation of all-in semi-active suspension in an X30 fork and TTX36 shock. 8. Braking benchmarks. Now, with Ducati's close relationship with Brembo, we see new Brembo-style monoblock calipers that are thus far offered exclusively on the Panigale V4. They're slightly smaller and 70 grams lighter than the M50S, and each employs 430mm pistons squeezing 330mm discs. 9. Don't worry, VIP. Old-school riders will appreciate the analog tachometer whose needle changes from white to orange to red as the engine approaches its rev limit. The panel also includes a trip computer, air temp gauge, lap timer, clock and Ducati multimedia system information. Importantly, a rider doesn't need to memorize the owner's manual to be able to navigate the various controls and settings. Ducati tells us it worked closely with parent company Audi to simplify the instrument's controls and menu settings to make the IP intuitive, and those efforts have paid off. It requires just a few minutes of poking around the switchgear, borrowed from the Multistrada, to execute and adjust various settings. 10. Price. Why? The Panigale V4S we tested retails for a healthy $27,495. That's a lot, but it's a whole lot of sport motorcycle. Riders on a budget might prefer the base model, which rings in $6,300 cheaper at a more palatable $21,195. In case it's not yet obvious that the Panigale V4S is the best sport bike you can buy for less than $28,000. It's packed with performance and technology that shames anything else in its price range, and the fact that its lovely Italian styling adds a certain panache is the cherry on top. It simply sets a new standard for sport bikes.